Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I made it. I decided to come on. Here I am. Welcome to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I don't know what's going on lately, but this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so all right, here you go. Yep, I made it on. Here I am. Hello. Ahoy, ahoy. Is everybody watching? Is everybody here? Hey, what happened? What happened indeed? Hey, Frisco. So yeah, just bear with me a second. Don't know what's going on here. I don't know if everyone's hearing me okay, if everything is working out. Still trying to establish things with this new setup here, and it's going a little slow. Hey, True Sinister, what's going on? I don't know what is happening right now. Okay, can anyone hear me? There we go. All right, everything's good. Hey, Harry Flynn, what's going on? Terrell Davis, True Sinister. I feel like I gave my all in that argument with Haru. Okay. Hey, I'm here now. TJ Fritz, what's going on? Hey there, Cody Omega, True Sinister, Frisco Flame, TJ Fritz, Justin Lewis, Dave saw Cobra Kai Season 2. I saw the first episode, the one that YouTube gives me for free. You feeling better today? Better. I'm still angry. I wound up having to do a lot of aggression, getting out stressful video game therapy by playing Hitman the wrong way. Hitman 2. Hey, Degenerate. Great stream. See you guys. Hey, are you still mad? I'm still not happy. JK, Andy JT Aaron. Yes. What, Dave? Here, you just fine. Okay, good, Morat. Yeah, sorry. New setup getting a little delayed. Those of you for the comic book channel who came on late last night got a special rant on the comic book channel. Now, who's this? Hold on. I'll get to that later. It's done. Rising Pro. Can you upload yesterday's stream? I did. I already took it down just because you never know. Everybody's all sensitive nowadays. Believe me, and I was even holding back, but I was pretty sure. But the overall point of the matter is you don't want to feed the trolls. Yeah, there was a stream on the comic book channel last night, very late last night. Dave, I recently acquired a huge comic book collection. Awesome. I haven't been through it properly yet, but I think I've got some pretty valuable stuff in there. Cool. If you have a local comic book shop, a lot of them do appraisals. That's where I recommend to go. I know two places that I've gone to that are pretty good for that kind of stuff. Sometimes if you're friendly with them, they'll do it for free too. IR Monkey, what's going on? Hope you are well. Hey, Dave. New Britain, Connecticut, there is a thunderstorm happening right now, and I'm on the weather day. Can this day get any worse than it already is? It could always get worse, man, Espinoza. You can't re-upload it. Once it's gone, it is gone. YouTube very much likes to warn you about that kind of thing. Andy JT Aaron, just go to Dave's. And you'll see a link for it. Thank you, Zypro, for making that a little easier for me. You watching the Crockett Cup tomorrow? Probably not. I would try to, but I'll be working, so I don't exactly think I will be able to. Why did you define yourself? Deafen yourself. I don't understand what that means. Why is it when I sleep early, I always miss something? It is life, man. It works the other way, too. Research purposes. What research purposes? Andy JT Envoy. Hello. Hello, AJ. Yeah, Dave, I've never seen you this upset. Yeah. Like last night or like now? I think I'm relatively fine. I'm still mad, but I think I'm relatively fine now. You fine? Tapped out 3/4 way. 3 o'clock, I think. 2, 3 o'clock. Yeah, 2, 3 o'clock, I think. I went off. Wow, True Sinister. Yeah, wow. He would be that type. Yeah, have you seen any of the Vice docu-series? The Bruiser Brody one's really good. No, and that sounds like a really good series, unfortunately, about a sad, tragic thing. But yes, event that I'm sure a sad, tragic event of Bruiser Brody's life would probably be covered. But yes, it sounds, I would be interested in seeing that, yes. Definite is when you make yourself, oh, I read that wrong. My bad, True Sensor. SmackDown has a terrible tag division now. Yeah, the B team doesn't help. To be fair, I don't like Sheamus and Cesaro together. Now, granted, I have my own agenda to that. I really do want Cesaro as his own standalone talent, but yeah. You know how you feel. Same thing happened to me. Go Infinity War came out. Not that I want either ending. Not that I wanted either ending spoiled, but I'd rather have Infinity War spoiled than this because this was the end. You know, this was the last one of the era, if you will. Like, I don't want to say phase because it's phase 3, but, you know, the first 3 phases are an era, the Infinity Saga, you know. Like, this was the end of the Infinity Saga. Yeah. SmackDown to clones, that's all they needed. That's true. That's it. Dave, tomorrow's my birthday, man. Hey, Super Ermac, happy early birthday tomorrow. Glad you're having a birthday. Hope you have a happy birthday at that. See EG right now. Yeah, go for it. Why not? I was really hoping they keep Cesaro on SmackDown. Yeah, I'd rather it be the other way around. I'd rather Sheamus has gone to Raw and Cesaro stayed on SmackDown. I agree with that because I really, yeah, not just the IC title, but I also would have liked to see Cesaro continue the tease that they were doing with him and Kofi. But allegedly, I don't know if you guys heard the rumor, Kofi Kingston's allegedly losing it to Jinder Mahal. Theater all showings will maybe sold out. That's the fun about buying things early online or you know, getting that stuff up. I'm not so good with that, but Elmer's really good at it. Elmer's always good at, you know, getting the tickets. He's really cool with that. Always the really good guy with that. You can always count on for that. Yeah, I don't know how true it is, but there are rumors. Modern Day Maharaja Run. There is a rumors that Kofi Kingston's going to lose the belt relatively soon to Jinder Mahal. Allegedly, the rumor is Fox wants Roman Reigns to hold on to the title. And they understand that having Roman Reigns beat Kofi, who's super over, is not going to help and is going to make Roman go right back to being super ultra booed like there's no tomorrow. So they figure out who is a guy that Roman Reigns could lose it, that could win it from, that no one's going to care if that guy loses, and that's Jinder Mahal. So the idea is Jinder Mahal will beat Kofi, and nobody likes Jinder anyway. Then when Roman beats Jinder Mahal, maybe they'll cheer him a little bit more. Or maybe he won't be as hated because people say, well, at least he's not Jinder Mahal. So that's just a rumor. I really hope that's not true, but allegedly that's the rumor. Buddy Murphy winning WWE title, not anything lately, but have you seen Us yet? No, I haven't. I'm not the biggest horror movie guy, though, or scary movie guy. Don't hinder the bloody Jinder. He hinders himself. Should they put the belt on Jeff Hardy? In your opinion? Well, right now he's hurt, and no, in my opinion, no. I'm not. I don't see Jeff as a main event guy. Hello, Rio Willis Jones. Kofi losing to Jinder. That's just a rumor. It's just a rumor. It's just a rumor, and it's a pretty big one. So I figured, I have to talk about it. I think I mentioned it last night on my rant, while I was going off on things, but I figured why not bring it up here too. This is starting to get annoying. Why is Fox again? Now, see, these are all rumors. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Why is Fox dictating? Because they have a billion reasons why they're dictating. That's why. Lars Sullivan is right there. Who will care if he bloody loses it to Reigns? Go with what you know. There are people who will cheer Lars Sullivan over Roman Reigns. There's nobody. I don't think anyone's going to cheer cheer Jinder Mahal over Roman Reigns. Jeff is past the mate. But even back then, I wouldn't. Even when he did have it, I never would have given it to him. If Jinder wins, that might make my sign that I need to take my 10-year break. Yeah, Iron Monkey, I hear you. But allegedly, the second Jinder run won't be very long. It will be, from what the room that I understand is, Kofi will lose it not like super soon, but like relatively soon. Jinder will win it for like a month or two, and then Roman Reigns will take it from there. Keep in mind, we have months left. We have like 6 months left. We have like half the year left before the Fox SmackDown goes to Fox, if I'm not mistaken. So I think the idea is 6 months down the line, Kofi holds it for like 2-3 months, and then Jinder takes it off of him for 2-3 months, and then Roman Reigns gets there. Dave, gotta ask, you a fan of the Venture Brothers? Never seen one episode. I know very little about it. Anything that would organically get thrown over would be heated as soon as WWE reports they're doing it. Yeah, I understand. I am in agreement with you. But that's just a rumor. Rumor has it that Fox wants Nikki Bella. No, rumor has it that you want Nikki Bella as women's champion, Harry. Respect her retirement, buddy. By the way, great thing to cover would be what happened to any tape library of wrestling programs on the Dumont Network. Okay, I like that. Only 10 episodes of various programs exist, and the rest, it's a crazy story. That's a good one. I might just decide to go ahead and write that one down on the phone. I have a list of potential topics that I type down. And sometimes I even look at them. I was writing Newtwork. Sometimes I write it quickly, or just write a short version of it. It's so short that I don't even know what it says anymore. Or I don't understand. We need a better transition heel. What about Epico Kelowna champion? Don't hold your breath, buddy. I kind of like. Okay, Moret says I kind of like Jeff as champion. Just felt like during the first run, that's too much instant. I hear you with Jeff. I don't love him on the microphone, and he doesn't have the right look as a world champion for me. I understand he's really popular, but he's never had it on the mic for me. He's missing too many components of it. I think he's very entertaining. I like Jeff Hardy. I'm a bigger Matt fan, as we have talked about in the past. Dave wants Lexi Kaufman as WWE. I want Alexa Bliss as like the champion of like me. Seems like your type of thing, especially this latest episode makes for a Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, yeah, I've said this a lot. With all the wrestling out there, I really don't watch much of anything. Like I primarily watch wrestling. I watch YouTube, just all kinds of YouTube videos. YouTube has mostly replaced regular TV for me. Regular TV shows I watch. I still watch The Simpsons. I watch Fresh Off the Boat, and I watch wrestling. I will watch Legion when it comes out. The last season, the third and final season of Legion's coming out. I will be watching that. Outside of that, I really don't watch anything. I feel like I'm missing much. Oh, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I watch that too. Outside of that, I really don't watch anything on TV. Movies-wise, I couldn't even. I'm trying to think the last time I saw a non-superhero movie in the theater, and it was like Ready Player One. And I'm like, I don't even know if that counts. Oh yeah, like the last Jurassic Park. Most of the time, I just see superhero movies. So vast majority of the things I watch are either super comic related or wrestling related. And judging by my two channels, I guess that's not hard to figure out. When did Roman simply die out? I don't know. The WrestleMania was kind of a starting point. When Roman was feuding with Jinder last year, fans were chanting for Jinder. Oh, all right. I will be honest, I didn't watch. That was like turn off TV time. But okay, so I could stand corrected. What do you think of? But keep in mind, Roman's come back now, so maybe things are different. Maybe Roman will get cheered over Jinder now. What do you think of So Bad It's Good Women? Um, I don't like the So Bad It's Good mentality, but Glow, as in Glow itself, is fine. I don't think that's so bad that it's good. I think it's just it has its own style and it was accomplishing something else. It's a funny kind of wrestling, and that's fun and fine. But saying something is so bad it's good, I almost never use that. Like I know a lot of people use that for, as I said, I'm not a big horror movie guy, and I know like Us and Get Out are not that kind of movie. But generally, I'm not a big fan of horror movies. But I will say I did see the first episode of the new Twilight Zone, and I like that a lot. But my problem with the horror genre, which is sour to me to the genre as a whole, is a lot of the cheesy bad acting done in it. And I know Us and Get Out is not in that category at all. But as a whole, I've been turned off to the genre. But hey, man, maybe that's the dude to bring me back in. Because the Twilight Zone episode was good. I know that's not really horror, but still, it was pretty good. Dave, if WWE wants the women's tag titles we were fighting for, WWE should sign. Oh well, that doesn't seem likely. Have them defend the titles against. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the Beautiful People's time is done. And I don't think they have the name recognition that's really going to get them for WWE's audience. Going to Ring of Honor, it's surprising. I don't know why Ring of Honor is doing it because they don't seem to fit that Ring of Honor mold. But okay, there's something. EJK does life. Hey, what's going on? But I don't know if they're really going to help the women's tag division as much as other women could do. They wouldn't hurt, but I don't think they could. I don't think they're the answer. What do you think about Dustin facing Cody at Double or Nothing? Great, really, really great. I've talked about this. That's the feud I surprisingly wanted, thanks to the Royal Rumble with Cody Rhodes really, really selling that feud. That one time, and I always get the year wrong because I'm terrible at remembering years. You would cheer Jinder over Roman. For me, it's just walk out of the stadium. It's just not even bother watching. I don't think so. Not many people are interested, and there's really low glass ceiling for those guys. Okay. Vast majority of times, I just wait for comic films to come on TV. Not me, man. Me and Elmer were like, we see all of them. We almost always see every comic book movie, like major, like Marvel or DC. We see them together. Like Justice League, we saw together. We didn't even want to see together. We were seeing that before filming an episode of Monday Night Wrong, and we were actually late for it. Elmer didn't even want to, and I just kind of dragged him there. I said, General Principal, we have to go. And he's like, all right, fine. I guess. It's like he didn't even want to. Venom, we saw at a General Principal. Spider-Man's, we see together. That's guaranteed. We have to see Spider-Man movies together. Jinder or Lars or Nakamura to lose to Roman Reigns. I mean, Jinder would. Yeah, Jinder. Be careful what you wish for, Harry. Yeah. Hey, Warhawk. I don't mind Reigns. Yeah, and that's cool. There's a lot of people who don't. I'm waiting for the time period to last where we can start treating Roman Reigns like we used to treat Roman Reigns. I just don't like the handling of him. But it's not like him personally. I just hate the booking of him. But I think it's very clear we don't. The thing is, we don't like booking the way it's done. There are a lot of the people who complain about how fans are reacting for certain things when they're the female Ghostbusters saying that fans are just being sexist or being negative. It's not that they're against but it's also been pointed out that those are the same these quote unquote sexist nerds now are the same people who supported Force Awakens that had a female protagonist. It's not that they don't like women, it's that they don't like people making something for political reasons. They don't like someone forcing something down their throats. And political doesn't just mean societal groups or anything like that, or minority groups. It's not about just that. Political reasons are politicking, backstage politicking. So when WWE or whoever is picking Roman Reigns because that's the chosen guy they feel is best for their market, then we know that's why they're getting there, and we don't like that. Bradshaw made people a lot of money. He backstage politics really well, so they gave him the belt for a really long time. We don't like that. Jinder Mahal was allegedly going to get them Indian money, the money from India. We don't like that they did it for those reasons instead of working hard, being talented, being over. We don't like that. And again, the other faux pas of it is Jinder Mahal proved that that is not what the Indian crowd is looking for, and it's racist that they assumed that was going to get them Indian money. So they're wrong about their mentality, and it's annoying that they do it, and they're doing it for the wrong reasons. That's what we don't like. Roman Reigns, it's not racial, it's Roman Reigns, it's just because they've chosen him, and we don't like that because they force it. And when they force it, and we see Brock Lesnar, same thing, but when we see that it's not effective and they do it anyway, now you're just doing it out of spite and to be petty, and we're going to react accordingly. What did Tim do, TJ? What do you think of NXT UK brand, and do you think it's a success? I don't like the NXT UK brand. I gave it a shot. I was looking forward to it. I was really excited to it. I don't like it. It's just not for me. I'd rather neither of these guys get involved in the title picture. I think the best thing, but to get to counter out my point, I think the best thing that could possibly happen for Roman Reigns, I thought he should have lost to Drew McIntyre. I thought he should be on a losing streak. I thought if we spend the next couple of months telling the story of can Roman Reigns get back on his feet, can he get back there, can he find himself again? Can he how quick can he get relaxed into it? I think that's the way it would have gone. I thought that would have made him more endearing. And on top of that, if he, as time went on, he keeps losing, but he starts gaining more wrestling moves, doing more moves, doing more. He's an athletic guy. Utilize that. Show that off. Do more moves that will impress the fans. And I'm not just talking about dives, but really add to his repertoire. Really start working with wrestling. I think that would have helped. And an interesting, because wrestling, people don't believe it, but it gets you over. It's, Cena still has a lot of haters, but every time Cena did like the Cena Conrana, yeah, there were people talking about how he botched it, but it got people talking on the Springboard Stunner, or anytime he adds a move to his moveset, people would talk about it. And it would alleviate things for some people. Now, those were moves that were done poorly, and he only did them once in a while. Just imagine if he did moves well and incorporated them into the storytelling of his matches. I think that would get people backing off a lot. The WWE should look. No, I mean, WWE is not stopping fans from booing Roman Reigns. It's just human nature. You feel bad about booing him. We think of Aleister Black on the main roster. He was kind of wasting away at NXT. It's good that he's on the main roster. I don't know that SmackDown was the show I would have put him on. I would have sent him to Raw, and I would have rather had Ricochet on SmackDown, but I know they want to keep him with his wife. And again, same thing with the whole race angle, the racist mentality of networks. Allegedly, the reason why, allegedly the reason why Andrade Cien Almas, I always forget because that he's just Andrade now, but Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega will move back to SmackDown was because, one, Charlotte's there, even though she's been bouncing back and forth from Raw, but Andrade and Charlotte are together and they're getting serious, and allegedly that was part of the reason because they don't want to split up married couples because they want to keep the wrestlers happy, or at least appear to, and because allegedly Fox wanted a Spanish-speaking person on their show, because without Rey Mysterio, they would want more Spanish-speaking people, wrestlers on their show, which again is because racial reasons. They think that's how you attract a certain demographic, by just waving somebody who has a similarity with them in front of them. They think they're going to get your money just because all they have to do is show you somebody that's of the same background as you, and then all of a sudden they get your money. That's how networks think. That's how businesses think. That's how stupid businesses are. They think that if you just shove somebody, that's how they think, and they're wrong, and there's no proof behind it. And if you ever stopped and woke up businesses, you would know that, but you just don't, and you just keep thinking the way you want to think. Fine. Anyway, so they moved Andrade to Raw and then moved him back to SmackDown, even after the shakeup, for those two reasons, which is ridiculous to me. Zelina Vega, package deal with Andrade, have to go together because they work together well as a team. But Zelina Vega married to Aleister Black, so therefore Aleister Black also has to go to SmackDown. So it's going out of the way to do a lot of silly things, which is there. Yeah, I like the springboard stuff. Yeah, see, there you go. That's the thing. Every time Cena added a move, even if it wasn't the coolest move, even if he didn't do it all the time, even people were defending that sixth move of Doom, the stupid Thunder Punch thing. But every time he adds something, it kind of alleviates some of his anti fan base. People kind of line up on him, even if it's not even done to the best standards. Sure, the people who hate him are going to keep dumping on, saying he screwed up the Cena Conrana. I was impressed that he did the Cena Conrana. I really like that he did it, and it's gotten smoother since. I like that he does it. But yeah, so it piles on and piles on. But that's all I'm taking. It doesn't take a lot to just start bringing it back and quelling the arguments. Uh, Naomi, that's all I have to say. Roman is the most bland wrestler on the main roster. He's definitely one of them. I'm not saying that he isn't even the most bland, but he's definitely up there. Thoughts on MVP? He's a perfectly nice guy. He's a here's okay. I got to meet up with MVP over WrestleMania weekend. I actually saw him and talked to him and everything like that. So MVP, perfectly nice guy. For those of you who might remember, there is a past story about that, but perfectly nice guy. But the thing about MVP that surprised me was I didn't realize this. He is surprisingly like. I mean, I don't want to like get all up in his business or anything, so I'm trying not to. But like he, at least around from the times I've interacted with him, he's a surprisingly shyer guy. That MVP, half man, half amazing persona. It's like that's what he does in the ring, but like in person, he's kind of shy and kind of quiet. So like I took things a certain way because I just thought like, how come you're not like talking or anything? And then it's like whenever he's around me, he just seems kind of shy and quiet and like reserved. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's just how he is. I'm like, all right, so maybe I'm taking this the wrong way. But he seems like a perfectly nice guy. He's a man of few words, like in real life, at least around me. But then you put him on the camera and all of a sudden it's MVP's here. So it was I learned a lot. So I learned a lot from the last time I saw him. If you add a unique character, charisma, personality, you become larger than life star. It's unlikely that hasn't happened. Yep, that's a formula, AJ Envoy. Remember, Shield was on Piper's Pit. Roman said one thing, but had the star power bouncing off him. So for some reason, he never brought that to the main event. I do think it's partly that they don't let him, but I also think he is lacking in that. I've been an MVP fan since the end of his WWE run. I liked his WWE run, don't get me wrong. I understand what you're trying to say if you want to talk about his Impact run or TNA run being better. I get that. I won't argue that. But I liked his character a lot in WWE. I thought it was great. But yeah, but the guy behind the scenes is so totally different. At least for me. Maybe there are people out there who have like gone partying with him, and yeah, he is that dude like at the club or something. I don't know, but for me, like he's like night and day difference. And there are a lot of wrestlers like that. I forgot who else there is, but there's another guy out there who's like really scary and not like MVP, but like big, scary, intimidating guy. Kane, that's it. But like Kane, I met him when I was a little kid. He was Isaac Yankem when I was a little kid. He was just playing a Game Boy, and he was like the nice. He's just like a big kid, and he was like. He was playing a Game Boy. It looked like he was holding a Tic Tac in his hand because he was so big. But yeah, he was a really nice guy. Kane, not remotely scary at all, like not threatening or anything like that. Very nice, calm, gentle, like cool guy. And yeah, I mean, maybe it's because I was a kid. Maybe now as an adult he treat me differently. But not scary, not intimidating, not anything like Kane at all. Doug Goldberg would. Yeah, well, there are people who think that. Hey Dave, what are your thoughts on Bray Wyatt's new character? I personally don't care for it. There is the outline thread rumor out there that I'm hoping is the case that Bray's kid-friendly gimmick is he's still the cult leader, but he's drawing in children now, and that makes him like super scary and creepy and not okay, and like that's just it's so messed up. And if that's where this is leading, I can live with it. But if I have to stare at evil Pee Wee's Playhouse for the next like 3 years, and that's all I get out of it, then I'm not going to care for it because I just want Bray to be Bray. I don't want. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Bray Wyatt character was perfect. I will say though, he is noticeably jacked now. Like I noticed, like his arms are freaking huge. Jeez, True Sinister. I wouldn't go all that far. Rick Rude experience. Seems like Bobby Roode with the recruit experience lately. Does anyone remember CM Punk came back to wrestling last Sunday? Yeah, of course. No, I just think there's so much we could say about it. Dave, I'm watching Unforgiven 2006 right now. Nice. Does not like. Oh, I'm sorry, Arthur Pryor. I've been tasked with trying to do a kayfabe science on his finisher. It's a tough one because it's. Anyway, yeah. That's a divisive one because some people really like it and other people hate it. What's Roman's best line? My opinion: get out of my ring, or I'll break your asshole. Yeah. Suffer and Succotash is the one I remember. The Believe that I know that was a Shield thing, but the Believe that I didn't mind that. I like that as a catchphrase. Mary Kane, the Tic Tac machine. So, yeah, it's like because I had a Game Gear. I met him at the it was at the airport, and I wasn't stalking him, Sasha Banks. I was a little kid, and I just happened to be in the airport, and we were going to a wedding. Me and my family were going to a wedding, and I saw, he's a big guy. He stands out. So he had that curly blonde hair. For those of you who remember Isaac Yankem, and I noticed that like he sticks out like a sore thumb because he's huge. And I was like, yeah, that guy looks like Isaac Yankem. And like I told my dad and everything like that, and he's just sitting there playing a Game Boy, and he was also with Alundra Blaze and Bertha Faye and Spark Plug Holly at the time, Bob Holly at the time, and they were all. And then after I noticed Kane first, and after that I looked at everybody else and I saw him. So, but yeah. And a lot of people do like Bray's new gimmick, and that's cool. If you're all about that gimmick, good for you. Fine. I want real Bray. That's it. True, children remember the Cena Bella. That's true, but maybe that's going to be the new plan. and that's just the bare bones speculatory rumor, or wishful thinking, if you will. The only reason I'm rooting for that or believe there's a possibility is because it is called Firefly, which is what he called all of his, all of his fan base, his cult members or whatever you want to call them. So that's the only thing I'm hoping for. The man would know. I wouldn't say so much like Bo. I could pick him out of a lineup, but yeah, Jack for JoJo maybe. Bray looks great. He does look great. I want to see where WWE takes this character. The new kid got him getting Russell. I'm also not. Oh, but we'll talk about that. That reminds me. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Owens going heel again so soon. I was kind of hoping he would be the babyface of the company. I wish they had stuck with that. But the Daniel Bryan injury and the Daniel Bryan injury and the Big E injury allegedly led to them going to KO as a bad guy, which is a shame. Made them change their plans. I heard rumors that they wanted to do Kofi and Randy Orton as Kofi's first challenger. The original plan was supposed to be Daniel Bryan and Kofi for rematch of Money in the Bank, but Daniel Bryan's hurt. I'm really worried because I think this is it. I think it's a career ender. But then on top of that, we have then there was in consideration Randy Orton, but they're going with Owens. I'd rather them go with Orton. I actually think that would have been much better. You a fan of Blue Pants? She signed as the new librarian, but she's still intergender match. Because she may not be the librarian, we'll find out. But yes, I'm a big Blue Pants fan. I wish she got more play in NXT, but I understand that her unique contract situation caused some jealousy in the locker room. But I think it's weird that she had that too. I had a Game Gear too. Terrible battery life. Columns was amazing. Knockoff Tetris columns, amazing. Hey, Lost Soul. Dave, what are your thoughts on Pat McAfee during WrestleMania 35? Michael Cole was by Pat McAfee, and what are your thoughts on the situation? It's fine. I don't think Pat was in the wrong necessarily, but I am a little bit biased because of that. I'll put it this way. It's hard. I don't know what I should say and what I shouldn't say, but in my personal interactions in professional wrestling, I tend to side with the refs because I think people don't understand how important the refs are or what kind of perspective referees give. So I think the refs are a more important part of the equation than people think. So I tend to err on the side of the refs. Like there's certain mentalities I led to it. Like I tend to favor the boys, and I tend to favor the boys, and I tend to favor referees, and I tend to favor fans. So if you give me a scenario where it's this guy versus this guy, and This guy is a fan or a referee or one of the boys, and this guy is not any of those three categories, I'm more than likely going to take this side versus this side. In general, there are exceptions to the rule. Hi, the bet. Felt bad. I was so rude to Mickie James and Nexus. How dare you, Arthur? Just shows how mean you are to women. You think Lacey Evans consistently jumping Becky is damaging Becky? No, I just don't think it's doing anybody any favors. Her push. I mean, I hear what you mean, and I do see the possibility of that. But no, I think Becky's kind of bulletproof right now. It's like, when Austin became Austin and won the belt, he started getting jumped more than he ever got jumped before, and it didn't really hurt Austin's stock. I mean, I would have preferred they didn't do that, but yeah. Davion, Blue Pants is possibly going to be playing a new character, the Librarian. It's a joking character, by the way, so I don't think it's serious. I was told not to wear shorts, but he wore shorts. No, I know. Was told not to wear shorts, and then he wore shorts. Yeah, I know, and he got reamed out by Michael Cole, and then Michael Cole quit, and then he left. Sorry, I got off on the sorry, I totally got off on the sidetrack note. Yeah, so those of you who don't know the Pat McAfee situation, Michael Cole wanted him to look more professional and allegedly yelled at him and disrespected him from a group of people. Pat McAfee was very upset about that, about the shorts and all that stuff like that. So anyway, as my point is, I tend to err on the sides of certain people. I tend to err on the sides of the boys. I tend to err on the side. I'm not going to get into it again. I tend to err on the sides of certain people, and Michael Cole is the kind of guy I err on the side against most of the time because he's kind of a managerial. From my understanding, I didn't work for the company. I don't know him personally. Maybe I'm wrong. But from the sources I've gathered or the stories I've heard, I view Cole as kind of a managerial kiss ass. And so while I have my side that I tend to work with a little bit more or tend to agree with a little more, there's another side that I tend to disagree with and or not favor as much. And management, I tend not to listen to very often, or tend to agree with very much, or side with very often. And those who favor management, and I understand that's better for your career, but those who favor management, I tend not to agree with all that often. But another side that I tend to agree with, and again, maybe it's the broadcaster in me or the broadcasting teacher in me, but I side with specifically television broadcasting things, and I understand that Michael Cole is technically one of those, but TV people, I don't think people understand the TV aspect of wrestling as much as they should. And so when you have somebody like Pat McAfee, who I think is more on that side, like and I understand they're both, but if you have to stick them on one side or the other, I would say Cole is just a managerial guy, a managerial suck up, and then McAfee's more of the television side, and I tend to side with them more. So, sorry, I got completely sidetracked on it. Like, Robert Roode does kind of look like Freddie Mercury, a jacked Freddie Mercury. There's any more word on AEW's TV deal? There's been some, but not so much. What do you think about Raw's ratings drops? Of course it's going to happen. Oh, I accidentally shook things up, putting my hands on the table. Dave, do you think 911 gimmick can work modern WWE 911 being Paul Heyman's bodyguard? Yeah, no, I think it can work. The ratings drop is, of course, it's going to happen. Why wouldn't it be happening? The fans been dissatisfied with the product, and WWE is going to not even. WWE is going to say, we gave you Becky, we gave you Kofi, what more do we have to do? Well, you have to realize that you have to stick with it, you have to make it entertaining, you have to keep it engaging, and you also can't just expect it to turn overnight. You dedicated how many WrestleMania main events to Roman Reigns, and you still didn't give up on them. You can't be upset with Kofi or Becky if they don't turn things around within a month or two. If you give several years of main events to them and then it still doesn't work and ratings are still dropping, then we'll talk. But until then, don't blame them. And WWE, as far as I know, hasn't been blaming them yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's coming around the corner. Feels me about Lacey Evans is they're just pushing her as a Southern belle, and she is as Southern as I am. So, very, Arthur? Like, very, very? It's a wrestling gimmick! They were pushing The Undertaker as a zombie! He's very much alive! fictional character. Thank you, AJ Envoy. You get it. Zach still here? Yep, Zach Bro's still here. I understand Cole's point, but you should always speak to others with respect personally. Yeah, and Zach Bro, that's really what it is. So I'm not going to take Michael Cole's side. I'm biased. I flat out will admit that I have a bias against Michael Cole type people, and I have a predisposition for taking the side of people like, Pat McAfee. So, yeah, sorry. I'm bouncing around there. I understand his points, and I also do criticize people for looking professional. I'm very big on that, especially in the classes I teach, because when it comes to being dressed a certain way, no, he doesn't. All me and Steve do is fight with Harry. If you watch the show, you know me and Steve constantly are. Oh wait, you're talking about. Oh, you're not talking about Capital Wrestling. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, no, Steve is a manager. Steve does side with management. He is. He is a man's man too, but he does tend to side with WWE management. But I'm not that kind of guy. Albert does it too. I'm not that dude. I think management usually has their head up their ass, and I think they're wrong. I said this on Twitter. Somebody said that being a wrestling fan used to be easy. You cheered the good guys and you booed the bad, something to that nature. I don't have the exact quote in my head, but they said being a wrestling fan used to be easy, and then they criticized fans and their natures with the internet and being fickle and all that stuff. But I said no, it's because being a wrestling fan was easy because booking was easy. They used to push the guys that you liked, and they used it, and they didn't push the guys that you didn't like. They knew how to play the game, but now they look for foreign markets. They look at their stockholders, they look at their board of directors, they look at their demographics, they look at their ad sponsorships, and they look at all these factors. Now they book with spreadsheets. They don't book with common sense, and that's my issue with it. So management, I get that management does what management has to do, and management is being a company. WWE is being a business, but they're not doing it well, one, because it's like a group of wrestlers trying to run a business. That's exactly what WWE is. WWE is a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company. It absolutely is. But they're a very new company. John Cena said this a couple of years ago that wrestling, even though they've had international presence, WWE is newly a global company. And there's no other wrestling organization that set the template before. It's like with AEW, tons of people are saying, avoid the WCW mistake, avoid the TNA mistake. WWE can't avoid anybody else's mistakes because they're encroaching into territory that no one has done before. They don't have a template. They don't have a guide to do any of these things. All of this is foreign turf to them. They have no idea what to do. This is the first wrestling company ever to be as big as they are. And you're going to say the NWA? NWA nowhere near as big as WWE is right now. It's not even close. Financially, as a business, it's not even close. They have nobody to guide them. So they're going to make mistakes. But unfortunately, a lot of these mistakes are happening in time when, one, a lot of business executives are dumb because they're in the internet age and we still haven't figured out how the internet will be incorporated into our business yet. So things like television and business, there's no precursor for that. So there's a lot of untapped potential there, but there's also a lot of mystery, and it's not been road tested. A lot of places that WWE and businesses in general just don't know how to work with yet. And they'll figure it out, but they're going to make a lot of mistakes. What are your opinions on Dean Ambrose going away angle? I'm still not 100% that it is an angle. I get it. People are really, really committing to that they know for a fact that it is or it is not. That's true. Black Widow did not have a accent. TBS, I heard. TBS or TNT, I think they're having that discussion. Give me AEW on Turner Networks. Wait, you're telling me The Undertaker isn't it? No, he's not. I see no point in breaking up the Riot Squad, and what can they do with Liv Morgan on SmackDown? If they pitch her as I know they're playing her as like Harley Quinn, but I kind of would like it if she was more that Jersey tough girl, or if she was just cute and pretty and they try to play her up for her beauty, because it kind of works. And I understand, I'm biased towards that. Lost Souls in what sense? Financially, they're doing better than they've ever have been. Not even close. They got $2 billion deals. Billion with a B. $2 billion deals last year between Fox and Crown Jewel, the Saudi Arabia whole thing. That's $2 billion. billion. One of those alone is bigger than any deal that any other wrestling promotion has ever pulled. They will never be as big as they once were. True. You find wrestling, if you find it hard, find being a wrestling fan hard these days, then I think you seriously need to question your mental capacity and cheer for who you want. Yes, that's a good statement. I agree with that. Imagine if WCW won the ratings war and WWE still bought them out simply because AOL Time Warner didn't want them. Yeah, that's a possibility. I don't think they would happen, but also, if that did go that way, there's a chance WWE couldn't buy them out because WWF was on the verge of bankruptcy. 1997. Wait, there is. So Zachro, you know that. Why do you think some of the NXT call-ups are being crapped on? You just can't push everyone, and they don't know what to do. And a lot of the NXT people can only be booked a certain way for it to work. The Ascension's a great example of that. The Ascension are not great ring mechanics. They're not. Okay, and they don't have the best promo skills necessarily, but they worked in NXT because they were booked as this unstoppable juggernaut, just ran through everybody. And if you don't book them just like that, then you're screwed. And that's exactly what happened. So you can't push everybody, and they don't understand how to. Main roster doesn't understand how to effectively utilize talent. Certain talent. There's certain types of talent that main roster just doesn't know how to deal with. Ascension's one of them. Bailey's one of them. A lot of these talents go into that category. Not going to deny I'm an NWA mark, but it's what got me back in wrestling. I like what they're doing with Nick Aldis and Willie Mack. Yeah, no, see, you could like that. I'm just trying to say, business-wise, the numbers don't lie. It's not even a comparison. You could like one better than the other. I'm just talking about which is financially better, which is not a matter of opinion, not objective. It's just factual, true numbers. I'm going to get more water. I'll be back. Ascension descendant. Yep, sadly, yes. Do you think Lio Rush is as good as he thinks he is? I don't think anyone can be as good as Lio Rush thinks he is. But I also think a lot of that is for show. At least I hope it is. You know, Lio Rush might be the new Enzo Amore. I don't like Sami Zayn's new gimmick. I think he should be a babyface. I know there are people who love his mic work, and he is utilizing it very well. Couldn't kill the NWA because the NWA is still around. My mentality has always been that if you are super over, if you're just naturally over, if you're one of those guys who just as over as you can get just naturally, don't mess with that. There's no reason to turn him heel. Sami Zayn's making the heel thing work for a lot of fans because he's that good on the microphone. But I don't believe, like, Tajiri, this is a guy who was over without even being able to speak English. Didn't even have to talk, and he was just super over. If that was the case, don't turn him heel, just keep him as a babyface forever. Who else is there? Sami Zayn is definitely one. Jeff Hardy. Another example. That guy's super over. Turning him heel is just a stupid idea. Don't ever turn him heel. Just keep him as a babyface. Rey Mysterio, yet another one. There's a lot of these guys that if you just keep them as a babyface, that's the way you got to do it because they get over without even trying. Unfortunately, towards the end of Eddie's life, they had him in that heel thing. And while the stuff was entertaining that he was doing, and I found it fascinatingly ironic, that he was like getting booed because he wasn't cheating, which was like just amazingly interesting to me. I still thought he should have just stayed being a face because, well, some people say, oh, it's boring, we're used to it. I don't care. That man got cheered and chanted without even having to do anything. He could just stand in the ring and people would cheer for Eddie Guerrero. He didn't have to, he didn't have to do anything. He could just be standing there. He didn't have to talk. He didn't have to pose. Didn't have to wrestle. He could just stand there, and people would cheer for him, and would be chanting his name. That's how over that dude was. And if that's the case, did he make that heel run work? Yes, he absolutely did. I'm not criticizing the heel work, but I just don't see a point in that. If a guy is that over, just run with it. You've been given a gift. Just go with it. financially it is. That Latin American market thing, I don't think is 100% true. Or, the racial thing, the race card, I don't think is true, and it just doesn't show in business. Businesses are dumb. If you ever worked retail, like retail is a very big side. If you've ever worked the retail industry as management and saw like some companies have back like your behind the scenes books stuff and all that crap like that, you'll learn. That was the first learning of how. Oh, and thank you for the 8 thumbs up, by the way, guys. Really, how stupid businesses are, because there's this thing that some retail stores have is called the conversion rate, where there's this little clicker by the door that counts everybody who walks in, and sometimes people just go into shop and they use this, and companies use this as saying the conversion rate is how many sales did you make per day versus how many people walked in. And the idea is, well, these people walked in, and if the conversion rate is low, if you have way more people entering the store than sales, that's bad, because they want you to take people who are just looking and convert those into sales. These are the evil things that retail does. They want you talking these people into buying something. Now, on paper, that sounds fine, but the reality is that's just stupid, because hypothetically, let's say, and management will come down, corporate will come on down when they see these numbers and say, why isn't your conversion rate better? And they'll get on you for that. And I've tortured people with it, like Sergio, who's been in the chat. He's never been, he's on the one video, but Sergio, I tortured him one day. I walked back and forth at his counter, his little clicker thing, like 1,000 times just to anger me. Because when I was a manager of retail, I never cared about any of that stuff. I said, I'll do my job to the best of my ability. I ain't gonna harass people. I'd rather to come back feeling all right than feel the need to be pressured into buying things. So I was like, and if you're gonna, and I was like, I still have the best sale, and I had the best sale. I didn't see the hard numbers, but there's countless of I don't know how long, but there were times where I know specifically I had the highest sales. So I was like, I'm still one of your highest sellers anyway, if not the highest seller. So what are you going to do about it? So if you're going to fire me because of this imaginary number that doesn't indicate money, then go right ahead. I know you won't, so it doesn't matter to me. But so I would not, again, I just don't like management. I'm not that guy. But also when it comes to the conversion rate, I said, how about this? Hypothetically, let's say there was a blizzard, and one guy comes in and he buys a $10 item whole day and then leaves. My conversion rate is 100%. The next day the snow melts, everyone was cooped up all day, so they come out now. Now I got 100 people, and all 100 people buy $100 items. 50. 100 people come in, 50 of them buy $100 items. Okay, that's $5,000 a day, but my conversion rate is half. So you're going to harp on me for conversion rate, because conversion rate, which made more money? Which day made more money? That's the bottom line. Who cares about the conversion rate? It is not an indicator of what people really do, and it's not an indicator of what makes you the most money, and it also doesn't project long-term sales. And it's just a stupid thing to think about, but it was my example of how businesses value the wrong statistics. They look at the wrong metrics. They don't think about things the way they should be done. And if you just use common sense, you would know these things. Someone to not turn heel. I wouldn't say that, but okay. Do you think that it's sad that a lot of people have walked out of Impact? No, I understand it. Unfortunately, I do know retail. I spent way too much time in it. I don't mind retail. It doesn't pay enough, and but I did like working on my feet only because it was like the only exercise I'm going to get. I get no exercise whatsoever now. I didn't get any exercise other than being on my feet, but now I get absolutely none. And if it paid better, it'd be one thing, but they put a lot of undue stress on you. So the key to surviving retail for me was just, not caring and saying, I'm not going to let you stress me out. We're not rocket scientists here. We're not doctors. I know how important this work is. Okay, so don't front off with me and try to make it sound like, I need to perform miracles here. I know how to deal with people. I know how to talk with people, and I'm going to send someone out with something that they actually need. And if they don't need it, then I don't care. They can just come here. Because I was, early on in my work life, I worked at a place where our mentality was we rather a customer leave with a head full of knowledge than leave with a cart full of stuff that they didn't want. Because if they left with that card, then great. But they'll never come back because they don't need anything. But if you come in here and you feel that you feel safe around, we wanted people to trust us, to know that we didn't care if you bought things or not. Because this wasn't my first job, but it was an early job, and we were just talking about things. We were like, yeah, we'll talk with you. We want you to know that you can come to us. That's what we want. And if you buy something, awesome. If you don't, okay. It's just, we want you to come here. We want you to like just being here. And that's where we did. And our staff was super knowledgeable. That's where I learned a lot of things. And it fit my mentality. I was also really, really young. But it's the same thing like when it comes to wrestling. I rather know stuff. I rather learn things. I'm very excited about that. I like learning things. And retail is a good way. Well, Devion, thank you for the compliment. I don't think that's very accurate. But yeah, I think it's a fun place where retail, if you do it right, and it's like a kind of thing you're interested in, you can learn a lot of stuff if you apply yourself to learning it. Hey, Jesus man, $10 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jesus, so much. Thank you. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. Just going off on random things. I'm very glad that you were here. Definitely made me feel a lot better because I'm very happy now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jesus, good to see you as always. Your generosity on top of your Patreon support. Thank you. Definitely nice to be, Marissa, it's definitely nice to see you wrestling on TBS. Thanks for also getting me off of my rant. How do you think the growing age of Vince has affected current state of WWE? Do you think the product will be better when Hunter's in charge? No, not necessarily. I don't have a lot of faith in Hunter. I don't. As a businessman, I don't know his qualifications. He's also a guy that really, look, I know there are people like him. I don't. There are guys, including somebody whose comment that I had to delete because it made no sense on the Triple H Honest promo. It was completely incoherent English. It was, why sorry, he best. Best is he, so what problem? Or something like that. He talked like a caveman, and I was about to respond, this shows the intelligence level of a Triple H fan. And I was going to say that, I'm like, no, forget it, just delete him. The investors are a problem. Yeah, they are a problem. Again, uncharted territory. I don't have a lot of faith in Hunter. He's another kiss ass. Married the right woman, kissed the right ass, got into the family, did these things, and that's how he got there. Did he climb every grease? I'm not saying he's not a hard worker. I don't know what he does. I'm sure he does work hard. But it's not. But kissing the right ass is only part of the equation. It's not the same as growing a company from your own steam. And I know Vince inherited the company from his dad, but Vince did things differently than what his father did. So different that I really do feel that you could say Vince has earned his company without any sense of needing to hold that statement back. I think he is maybe not 100%. Yeah, battery was running low. Hopefully this is a little bit better. H's Curveball Takeover. Yeah, something along those lines. What makes people think Triple H will take over and not Shane or Stephanie? Did I miss something? Shane has said it himself that it seems like Shane is not as favored as he should be, in my opinion. But there's going to be a bit of a struggle for it. Hopefully that happens. Hopefully Shane wins. I would like Shane. But you're right. But Stephanie, when people say Stephanie, it's like Triple H and Stephanie are a package deal, and there is. But I will say again, when it comes to siding with the boys, a lot of the boys like the idea of Triple H because he's one of them as a manager. But also, when you look at it, wrestlers who book are typically problematic, who are currently wrestling. And I know he's pulled back a lot now, but I'm just saying that is a bit of an issue. Hideo Itami just couldn't stay healthy at the right times. I get it. I don't like punishing people for getting hurt, but at the same time, Itami really, really, really had bad timing, and unfortunately, he was hyped up so well, and they invested a lot in him in NXT, and it was a shame things went down. But I understand it to a certain degree. Tries on Mike, terrorizing, gets no respect, and deservingly so. Yeah, I am not a Triple H fan. I don't think anyone should be. I don't know why people are. No, I just try to save a little money. Thank you. No, but thank you. It's getting hard for me to be be a YouTuber these days. That it is, and I don't want to see this channel. Well, thank you, Jesus, and it's good that you missed the comic books live stream last night because Jesus with another super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are one of the biggest supporters of the channel. You definitely really helped keep it going. Yesterday, last night, yeah. But thank you. Thank you. It does. You really do help make it keep going because there are times where I think about calling it quits. You know, as I talked about last night for all you guys who were on the comic book show. But yeah, you do help keep it going. This motivates me and gets me remembering that, hey, I am accomplishing something that may not have a huge fan base, but there are people who enjoy it. So I got to keep going. Got to burn hard. Like I almost didn't come on today, but nope, now I'm glad I did. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Also, Ricochet, I think, look, he relies too much on his in-ring aspect, whether storytelling or character work. I get that he gets criticized for storytelling a lot and character, and he's not great on the mic, I think. But he is over. Again, you push what's over. And I think, to be fair, Ricochet has done a good job of combining his style with WWE style. He's been toning it down or incorporating it a little bit more. His match with Johnny Gargano, there was storytelling, there was wrestling, it was a good match. He is capable of it. He's growing. Vinny Montana, I'm going to ask you right now, did you, yes or no, spoil anything about Avengers Endgame in the Discord? Tell me right now, be fair, be honest, I'll take your word for what it is. Tell me right now, did you or did you not spoil or ruin the ending of Avengers Endgame or anything from Avengers Endgame on the Discord? Tell me right now. Been delayed? I don't know, but I also, has XFL been delayed? Don't know, but don't care either. I just want to see, and implode. Why did you bring that up? Now people will spoil. I apologize. I hope not. I brought it up because Vinny Montana brought it up. I really appreciate all the positive feedback from you guys. Thank you. Well, you deserve it, Jesus. Thank you. He did have one point out there being hurt when I was warmed up to him. Yeah. You have like 29 people here. On the stream, well, yeah, we're not going to get to that. Triple H, 2000 Triple H, I disagree. He was like the perfect, and that why people are Triple H fans. I don't think he was a perfect wrestler at all. I think he had a lot of problems. Perfect wrestler. He was crap on the mic. He just got over-pushed and overbooked. He was just like Roman Reigns. They just kept giving him the belt. Physically, great, sure. But a blah wrestler, he PM me true. All right, Zach Rowe, fine. There you go. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you, Zach. He asked me if I want to know, and I said yes. Okay. Don't anybody say anything about it. Hey, MGT, thank you. Please don't stop the General Ronnie. Thank you, MGT. Thank you. Don't even talk about that movie, because I don't even want to talk about that movie at all now. Avengers 3 is it. There's only 3 Avengers movies as far as I'm concerned. The fact is now better WWE. And I never thought I'd say this. Let's start talking about comic books on the wrestling channel. Normally it's the other way around, but we'll talk about. But yeah, I was contemplating switching over to the comic book channel, saying, "Hey, everybody, go to the comic book channel after this." But yeah, I'm just gonna stay here because I'm kind of stuck on it. What's a Steamboat? Oh, it's a Steamboat, but who is? Come on, that's a high bar to set. That's unfair. I know. Otherwise, he's a mid-carder at best. No, hey, MGT, seriously, everything helps. The support, even you guys just being here, the thumbs up, all these things of support. I'm very, very, very lucky for you guys. You guys are the supportive ones. You guys are cool. You guys take care of me. And, it's a weird thing. No, I did not see the last episode of Gotham. I was done with Gotham after season 3. I didn't realize how much Selena changed. She does not look the same anymore. I didn't notice that. I did because I saw like promos of it. I'm like, who is that? I'm like, oh, that's a Ricky versus Flair or I say Ricky versus Flair, but that's not easy. That's hard. I say Ricky versus Flair, but I get it. I really want to say Sting versus Flair too. Don't get me wrong. You didn't tell me. Boys, sell it on your own. This is not the room for it. Talk about it later. Oh, Andy JT Aaron with a £5 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are the only YouTube account I've ever given one. Thank you, Angie. Well, that means even more to me. Thank you. Look, I do appreciate this. I really do, because you guys don't have to do this, and it means so much to me that you guys do. And on top of that, remember, like, this is a small channel, and I know it. We really are a select group, and that's what I feel great about. Is that if I haven't said it before, I'll say it now. If I haven't said it before, is that when it comes to wrestling, the goal of this channel, and a lot of it is, wrestling fans are viewed a certain way. And I think we're not all like that. A lot of us are smart. A lot of us are into being, community, into being, and I talked about this last night about, with the wrestling stigma that we went through and the whole thing that happened, a little while back. But we are, a wrestling fans community, really are, dependent on each other. And one of the biggest reliefs and joys I found about this channel is that there were wrestling fans who watched wrestling like me, or viewed wrestling the way I do, or wanted to learn things about other things through wrestling. And that's what I really, really like about this channel, is that I found other people who feel the same way I do about pro wrestling, so, which is great. Because for me, even when I have a lot of friends in real life who like wrestling, I will make references to something, and they'll just stare at me like, what? And then I have to explain it. But one thing that's fun is, like, when I remember, like, when I'm at Capital Wrestling, like in the back or something like that, and I'll talk about some obscure match or something like that, and everyone will like, oh yeah, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're looking around, and you're like, and that's relief. And then it's the same thing here when we talk about these things. Everyone is like, hey, yeah. Seriously, no Avenger. I don't even care if you're joking. Knock it off. That's going to get you a lifetime ban from this channel. We're calling you wrestling. So. Andy JT Aaron, Jesus, MGT, thank you guys so much. And Andy JT Aaron, it really does mean a lot. It really does. Guys, all of you guys, your support, very, very much appreciated. Because WWE is looking a little like early WWE. Okay, so let's move on to the channel, bro. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. Yeah, see, you guys are great. Better rivalry, Savage rivalry, Flair or Hogan? Gotta go with Hogan. The Flair rivalry I like, but it's easily Hogan. It would have been great if we could have gotten a heel Savage with Flair and Hogan, all with Flair and Savage really just competing over who hates Hogan more. But yeah, Macho and Hogan is the stuff of legend. It's one of my favorite WrestleMania main events of all time. It might be my favorite WrestleMania. That doesn't sound right, but it might be. This or makes this platform great. Yes, MGT, I agree. What we have going, we're for the most part troll free. Most part, we're all cool, awesome people. Very few outliers, but they get taken out right away. Like, a very few, nutty trolls show up once in a while, and sure, some of them are really, really bad, but for the most part, troll-free. I get the question asked, what about mods? I don't need them for the most part because I don't have that problem. Like, I don't have the need for it because we are all awesome people. Once in a while, someone props up, but then they just, they're done, and then we just move on. I have zero, troll tolerance policy, and but I don't have to flex. I don't have to flex it too often, which I like. Hey, Rio Willis Jones, welcome back. Flairman myself. What's the worst angle you can remember with Hogan? Mr. America, I did not care for. Jesus, whoa, dude, again? Really, on top of your Patreon support, and yet another $10 super chat. That's 30 for the day. Jesus, you are so awesome. Thank you, my dude. Thank you so much, dude. Yes, thank you. I really can't thank you enough, man. Yeah, you get the ball rolling, you get everything going on, and yeah, you keep me going forward. Which means I really got to think of what I'm going to do for Wednesday's video, because, yeah, got a lot of work to catch up on. Opinion on Ryback, safe or stiff, steroids. I'm no steroid expert, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I think probably. Safe or stiff? I think he's somewhere in between. I think that he might be a little stiff, but how much more stiffer can he be than, let's say, Sheamus? How about, I'll throw that name out there. I liked Ryback at times. There were moments where he showed me that, okay, he's all right, and there are other times where he showed me, nah. Well, Vinny, I'll tell you right now, you know where I'm at. The number one thing, well, that I lay down the law for, you guys know. Terrell Davis, it won't make any kind of sense. Kofi to turn heel storyline wise. Becky made sense of it because Charlotte, and she didn't even really turn heel. I want 2013, 2016 bring back. Me too. Say Billy Kidman grunt. That's not. Yeah, that was a rough feud too. Not gonna lie. Can you rank the best Samoa Joe rival from? Oh, it's gotta be Punk. It's not even fair. Like, it's not even fair. I mean, look, everybody else is great, but it's Punk. Hey, Jimmy James, it's got to be Punk. That's not even fair. You know, how, you know, it's like you want to talk Austin rivalries, The Rock or The Rock and Brett. It's like The Rock and Brett or whatever the other answer is not going to hold up the Rock or Brett. So WWF is so badly break. Me too. I was at the Royal Rumble where he said this is going to be the year of Bray Wyatt, and I'm still waiting. So which was the worst wrestling stable Dungeon of Doom? Ah! I say Dungeon of Doom. I really didn't like Dungeon of Doom. I get Paul Jones' Army, but Dungeon of Doom. I think Dungeon of Doom I'm against because never mind. Stupid reasons. The WWE do a bad job with Taz. They did a terrible job with Taz, especially since I'm hard with the NXT. They dropped the ball hard with where the NXT takeover went blank. I don't know what that means. No joke. Okay, MGT, thank you again for the super chat. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I really do appreciate it. Do work in the kitchen, like construction work or like cooking. But anyway, yeah, keep it up, my dude. Back at you. Thank you so much. Again, thank you, MGT. Nuke Nin MGT. Thank you. Best CM Punk angle. Gotta go with the pipe bomb. I really do. The Summer of Punk 2, if you will. The second one, because the real Summer of Punk is the Samoa Joe angle. Got to go with that one. What need a takeover and see? Am I like reading things wrong today? I watched Hogan versus Rude. What a stinker! Yeah, that's unfortunate. Rude gave Hogan one of the hardest chair shots ever, though. Sergeant Slaughter too. Favorite Iron Maiden song? I can't name an Iron Maiden song. Behemoth? Hey. Dennis. Mark Strike, I don't know if you're kidding or what, but knock it off. Doom got Giant over. No, the Giant got Giant over, right? If anything, Andre the Giant got the Giant over, or Hoagie got him over. Hey, Rio Willis Jones. Well, at least... Well, at least neglect CM Punk. Well, I at least negate CM Punk Day. I don't get it. DOD, yeah, yes, they were extremely cheesy. You don't know with Cena joining them. What? Am I missing something? Taz was good in ECW. His ring work was believable even when the big guys were promos. Yeah, some people also commented about Taz's stiffness. What do you think about Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle, the Trooper Iron Maiden? Sure. Yeah, gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to name an Iron Maiden song. I know nothing about Iron Maiden other than they're a band that Bill and Ted referenced once. The Giant throws a puffy shirt at Hogan's. Look, okay, I didn't say it was good or anything like that. It might have been a bit cheesy, but it worked okay. Yep, that's not a bad observation there, Jimmy James. Versus Palmer could have been legendary. I have problems with the CM Punk, the CM Punk and John Cena matches. There are problems I have with it. Don't get me wrong. That's why I didn't say their feud. I just said the pipe bomb. That's really all I care about. The occupational gimmick. The first one that comes to mind is IRS, but that can't be right. Because I hated IRS as a kid. And as a kid, I just, booed him as a bad guy. But an occupational gimmick. I like the question, though. And the next one is Duke to Duster Josie. I really like the name, though. It can't be IRS, but I think it might be IRS. Oh, no, Big Boss Man. Duh. Big Boss Man. Easy. No, it's cool if you love metal. Eric Dole did the theme song of this channel. He's a big Iron Maiden fan. I asked him one time who's on the Mount Rushmore of metal, which made him have to stop, and he couldn't really do it because he wanted to shove like 6 bands in there, and he couldn't do it. And then I have like a ton of friends who love metal, and I've gotten them like all talking about this, where they all discuss this. And Iron Maiden was one of Dole's choice, one of like the 6 bands Dole wanted to shove into Mount Rushmore. He couldn't take himself to like get rid of 2 of them. He had a hard time with it. He had a really hard time with it. But like I listen to what he says about metal, but the thing is, I know the gimmick was bad. That's not the question, Jimmy James. But so we talked about this on one episode where like a podcast episode on this channel, where I said like for me, the thing about wrestling is the more you're involved with it, the more you appreciate different facets of it that you may not have understood as a fan. And it's like what Dole will tell you about music, because he plays guitar, obviously, since he did the theme song, is that the more he played, the more he realized how hard metal was to play. And like you said so yourself, that you play guitar. So no need to apologize. But because of that, he understands things like hammer-ons and pull-offs that he knows are hard to do. And when other people do it seamlessly, he just appreciates it because he goes, wow, that's awesome. Like, good for them. And so they kind of get to it. But since I don't play guitar, I don't appreciate them or understand them when I'm hearing it. He's told me over and over again, like, hey, listen to this. This is what this means. Or, hey, try to, like, he's pointing them out to me. But musically, I'm also pretty dumb. Like, I'm kind of tone deaf. As you may have, unfortunately, had to listen to, well, my part at least, was, when we went on Wrestling with Regret. Well, unfortunately, anybody who had to hear me sing, I'm sorry, because when we did when Brian Zane, Wrestling with Regret, organized the big collaborative "If You Only Knew" cover, which was a lot of fun to be a part. I know I can't sing, so I told Brian Zane, like, straight up when he contacted me about it, I'm like, dude, I'm honored, but I will warn you right now, I can't carry a tune in the bucket, so I'm warning you. And they say, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Because Brian can sing like there's no tomorrow. For those of you guys who don't know, Brian Zane sings really well. He has a great voice. I'm like half tone deaf, and I know I can't sing. Like, I'm half tone deaf, but even I know I can't sing. So I was like, I know I'm not in tune, and that's bad, because I kind of don't notice half the time when people aren't in tune. So if I know something's not in tune, that got to be really bad. So fortunately, though, he hooked me up with the Bobby Brain Heenan part, so I was like, yes! I was like, I'll take that all day, Bobby Brain Heenan part. Mount Rushmore of wrestling, who would you pick? I've had this conversation before. I kind of say Hogan, Flair, Rock, and Austin, but I also want to throw Macho in there. But if I have to pick, I would say those guys. Favorite Johnny Depp movie? Man, that's specific. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be something he's in that I like. I like the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but just the first one. But I don't want to say that as my answer, but I got nothing. Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Metallica, there you go. Degenerate. Judas Priest was not on Dole's list. He wanted... what's that group? And that guy Dimebag. Pantera, that's it. Pantera was one of the options. I forgot Dole's other picks. What's the guy? The guy. See here, all the stuff I know about metal is because people tell me about it, and I've like absorbed it. Who's the guy who used to be in Metallica? Dave Mustaine, and he has another band, Megadeth. There you go. And I don't know, some other guy, some other band. But yeah, all my metal, like all the metal friends I have, Johnny, who was on this show, who's been on this channel, he was one of them, they're big into metal, and they were, as well as a couple of other guys, all just getting a conversation. Bill's been on this channel, my friend Bill was on this channel, all of them were talking about it, just arguing. What's your Mount Rushmore of the 90s only? I'm assuming you're talking about wrestlers in that case. Part of me still wants to say Hogan, man. Part of me wants to keep everyone the same except for Flair, and take Flair out and put in Foley. But then there's also Sting. Maybe even The Undertaker. Somehow narrowing it down to one decade made it harder. That's the reason why I love metal. It's a very hard song to play. Oh yeah, absolutely, and I respect that. I get it. I've tried playing guitar. I'm useless at it. But again, I'm musically useless as it is. So after a while, almost being all the other styles of music comes easy. Yeah, Jesus. That's what I've been told, and I can see it or hear it. You know, his entrance was actually what got me into metal as a kid. Yeah, when people talk to me about that, it's funny because I know the word Enter Sandman because of the wrestler The Sandman. I've never owned the song, I never bought the song or the album or anything like that, but I knew every word of the song just because of Sandman. Same thing with Walk from Rob Van Dam. I know that because I just heard Walk like a million times. And so, like, but all the Metallica fans I know say that the Metallica was bad by then. They said that was past the good point. And in case you haven't noticed with me on a lot of the references I do, it's like I have a lot of rap stuff. It's clearly my preferred genre of music. Cliff Burton of Metallica, Dimebag Darrell / Buckethead. Duel would say Randy Rhoads is one of the guys he really likes. He's a big Randy Rhoads fan, and he arguably... He argues that he likes Dimebag Darrell a lot, but he kind of makes the argument sometimes that maybe Randy Rhoads might be better. As a proud Brummie, you're all welcome for metal. I don't know what that means. Who are your top 5 technical wrestlers? Dean Malenko, Bret Hart, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. And I feel really bad because I didn't say Dynamite Kid. Ernie started it all for us. See, I'm getting everybody going already. I will say this much. I may not be able to appreciate it or understand it. I do enjoy hearing conversations about metal or having people discuss it because, while metal has this, we're dark, edgy, angry people. Like, it's a bizarre, like, when metalheads get together and start talking, it's bizarrely, like, calm. Like, I agree with your point of view. However, I would suggest this guitarist instead. Oh, yes, I see your point. Like, they're very cordial. Nobody ever starts fighting. But when it comes to, like, rap, I've seen people argue, like, get real harsh and aggressive when it comes to rap. Like, Biggie versus Tupac debates, like, in the 90s, it was... I've seen some stuff, is my point. For sure you will. I want to mention Dynamite Kid Moret. I really do, but so many guys like that I mentioned on the list were influenced by the Dynamite Kid that I kind of feel that they've adapted in a certain place. That's why I didn't say them. I know. Believe me, I want to say Dynamite Kid. And Steamboat. I want to say Steamboat too. And I want to say Mr. Perfect. I really, really want to say all those guys. Not really metal, but Poison. Ideas. Okay. Hogan owes all of his gimmick to Superfly. Billy Graham would argue, and so would Eric Idle. Austin Idle, not Eric Idle. Randy Rose was unbelievably good, especially for his time. Wait, whoa, you're from Birmingham? Oh, that's what that means. Wait, metal came from Birmingham? Did not know that. Thanks, Jimi Hendrix and Blue Cheer, American Blue for Metal. Steamboat and Perfect are definitely on my list. Yeah, I know, man. I want. This is why I mentioned this in like a lot of the top 10 videos I've done that I hate doing them because I really want to put in more people than 10, and I don't like having to choose. Like it's torture for me. A lot of fans, like classical fans, or listen to the technicality of the music rather than. One of the best things I ever heard was from, I don't want to blow this guy's spot, but a wrestler that I know. When I asked, because there's some kinds of wrestlers that like to plot out the entire match, and there's some wrestlers who are a little more loose with it. But there was one wrestler I know who likes to plot out the entire match, and I've watched that wrestler go over it over and over and over again, like every spot with the person he's got in that match, and they talk about it, and they won't do the match together, but they'll just flat out there say, all right, first of all, and they'll do that, and they just don't even say the words, they just go, and they do that. That's what they do backstage together. They just do these hand motions, and they know what the other person's talking about, and they instantaneously click. They don't have to say the names of the move. They just do the and you look at them, they look crazy. But they'll do it over and over again, and they're plotting out like a 10-minute match or a 15-minute match, and they know how every beat. And I've asked him, how do you know that? And he said, dude, it's like playing a song, man. He's like, I couldn't tell you A, B, 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 A, B, B, C. Like, I couldn't tell you the notes if you asked me to just rattle them off. But if you just give me the guitar, I'll start playing, and I'll remember the whole thing by the time I get to the end. Why? I don't know. It's just how it works. The same thing with wrestling match. If you made me stop and just write down what is the 5th move in the sequence, I'm not going to know what it is. But if you just let me start from beginning to end, I'll just remember by the end of it, and that's just how it goes. It's just like a song. So I thought that was a beautifully poetic thing, and there is a lot of correlation between music and wrestling that I've seen. And because I don't really know anything about music, it's hard for me to mash them together. I've done like the CM Punk Pipe Bomb Analytic video that was there. I would, if I was more knowledgeable about music, I would have done a video about the two a long time ago. Oh, also on the fact that music is kind of like hard to do on YouTube, but yeah, how do you figure that? Who, in your opinion, is the modern day epitome of go away heat? It's got to be Roman Reigns. Not all like classic fans. Dave, do you enjoy OSW or no? I don't keep up with it as much. I've been introduced to it because of the channel. People have recommended it to me, and I've checked it out, and it's funny, but I don't keep up with it regularly, I'll be honest. Who, in your opinion, is... Oh, yeah, right. Thank you for that support. Okay, guys, I got to get out of here, but thank you for... thank you for everything. Nugnan MGT, thank you so much for the super chat, as well as Andy JTR. Thank you for contributing to this as a super chat. That does mean a lot. Thank you. And of course, Jesus Ferro, thank you for all of your support, Patreon, as well as the super chats here. Thank you. I'm glad I came on today. I'm very happy that things worked out. Thank you for the rest of you for being here, and thank you for the thumbs up. Go check out the combo channel. The last video I have, now that the last live stream was deleted, it's a really good video that I did about the third wave experiment and Magneto. It's an experiment that really happened where it's an experiment that turns people into fascists. And it was on the combo channel. I did a whole video about this. This really happened in the 60s. It was a real experiment that a teacher did to his students. And I want to put the comparison out there between Magneto. It's a very personal video for me. You'll see why when you watch it. But check that out. Also, a brand new Honest promo on Monday. Thank you for being here. And I got to pick up the slack on some of the work I've done. Thank you again to Andy JT Arrett. Thank you to MGT and, of course, Jesus Ferro. And to all of you for liking and being here. And as always, Dave knows.